start this live broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the evening broadcast from the KRS TV, KLA Channel 50. And today's top story is the fourth house. And we're going to go live to one of our main reporters' house, KRS, who will be talking about the fourth house. This is a breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, so pay attention. Oh my god. Anyway, it's Friday. What can I say? I only had one shot of tequila. That's all. And one shot of glass. That's it. And I've been drinking lemon and water. See? I don't know if you can see it. Lemon and water. Hot water and lemon. Awesome. So, fourth house. What is the fourth house? Right? We want to learn about the fourth house. So, fourth house, as you know, in astrology, naturally represents the mother, comforts, happiness, vehicles, real estate, land, ancestral properties. Anything that you store within a home is anything that you store in any place is the fourth house. So fourth house doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, I'm storing something within my home. No, you could have, let's say, you could have a business of clothing, right? So you're selling saris in India. What this fourth house signifies is that you're storing those saris in your shop. You have all those wholesales. You bought all those saris from wholesales, right? So they're sitting in your shop. That's the fourth house. That's the cat that I just heard. Yeah, she probably going after food and just wanting to get food out. It never stops. Never stops. Ever, ever, ever. So, that's the fourth house. Fourth house represents knowledge, especially divine knowledge. You know, like they said, divine vidya is the fourth house. Fourth house kind of represents the learning of the astrological texts, learning of Bhagavad Gita, Puranas, Bible. As much as ninth house represents religion, but fourth house represents the divine knowledge. Actually, yes, fourth house is divine knowledge, something which is even beyond religion. Fourth house represents the dwelling of the school and learning, meaning not just real estate, but real estate as in universities, your school, whether it's your elementary school, high school, college. That's what fourth house is. Fourth house also represents wells. Like well where you put the thing down and with the water. I don't know what you call that now. A bucket? You pull it down and then you push it back up. A well is represented by the fourth house. Fourth house also represents your ability to travel. Ability to travel? How? Because fourth house, remember, is second from the third house of travel. So this is why gain, second house from any house is a gain of that house. So gain of travel is seen through the fourth house. Fourth house represents clothing. Fourth house represents furniture. Fourth house represents any antique item within your home. Boats, cars, motorcycles. That's fourth house. Fourth house represents architecture. Study of architecture. So if you want to see an architect, if somebody's going to be an architect, fourth house, fourth lord has to be connected strongly, because most of the time an architect is doing what? They're building a building or building a house, or building an apartment complex. So their job is to build buildings, build a dwelling in a way, whether it's a professional dwelling or commercial dwelling or a private personal dwelling. So fourth house represents that. Fourth house will also represent the siblings of your, like, not sibling, like your nearby relations. Sorry, not siblings. Cousins, aunts, uncles, connections of your family will be seen through the fourth house. So you know how Mercury represents aunts and uncles. Sixth house represents paternal aunts or maternal aunts and uncles. Fourth house in general represents all kinds of relatives. Whoever, cousin, you know, Tauji, Chachi, Mami, whoever, Masa, Mossy, everybody comes into the fourth house because they all come into your fourth house, right? You invite everybody in your home. So it represents that. It represents, like I said, gain of travels, wealth of your younger sibling, resources of your younger sibling. It represents the gain of communication. Fourth house represents losses of your children, financial losses of your children, foreign elements and foreign travels for your children. Represents where your children will donate money to, how they will donate money to, what kind of a, let's say your children are sick, they go to a hospital, what type of a hospital environment they will go into whenever they're sick, seen through your fourth house. Fourth house represents gain through debt. Meaning, for example, like I was giving with the sari thing. So let's say you're in a business of saris. What are you doing? You're buying saris. But are you using your own money, or are you using the bank's money or your investors' money? So that means you borrowed money. Now you borrowed money, you bought a good, and you're gaining through those goods. So fourth house represents that. Fourth house represents your family after marriage. So like second house represents your own family, right? Like you grew up with your siblings and mom and father and a dog. Fourth house represents your family after you were married, your own children, your own spouse, your own dwelling. Fourth house represents the reputation, work environment of your spouse, career of your spouse. Fourth house represents luck of your joint assets. How lucky will you be in attaining joint assets? Represents the luck of your in-laws, your spouse's family. How lucky are they? How's their luck operating in their life will be seen through your fourth house. Fourth house represents death of father and guru. Fourth house represents the hidden assets, the hidden wealth of your fathers and gurus. And remember, you can't just say, oh, I consider this person as my guru, so they must be, I can check my fourth house. No. I'm talking about a guru who has initiated you in, saying that, okay, I'm your guru, and you're my student, and from here on out, we'll have this relationship. That's the guru. A lot of people make this mistake. Like a lot of people say, oh, you're talking about guru, and I consider you my guru, my astrological guru, so that must be it. I'm like, no. First of all, I'm not a guru. That's the most stupidest thing you guys can do, is to make me a guru, and I'm not even like qualified 0.00%. No, I'm talking about a guru who has to initiate you in. So once they have initiated you in, that's a guru. And fourth house represents surgeries of your father. How well the surgery will go, how well the recovery will be, can be seen through your fourth house. Fourth house represents the spouse of your bosses. Fourth house represents spouse of your father as well, because it's your mother. And 10th house, remember, because this is the Bhavat Bhavam concept, 10th house is second from the 9th house of father. It represents your father's teachings. What lessons has father given you? So 9th house is father, yes, but 10th house represents the teachings of the father, the values that the father has given. This is why mother's always 3rd and 4th house, father's 9th and 10th house. One represents the early stage, the other represents the late stage. Fourth house will represent the health, illnesses, diseases of your elder sibling, deaths of your elder sibling, enemies of your elder sibling. What type of competition your elder sibling will run into will be seen through your fourth house. Fourth house represents your paternal aunts and uncles, specifically paternal aunts and uncles. Fourth house represents the education of your paternal grandmother. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, fourth house represents, yes, let me see here, 7. Fourth house represents the plumbing system of your guru's house and your father's house. So let's say you're living separately. You have your own family, your own spouse, and your father's running through some plumbing problem. What type of a plumbing problem your father is running to, you will be able to check that from your own fourth house. If there's, let's say you have let's say for example you have Venus in the fourth house. Saturn runs over Venus. And in that 2.5 period, or let's say 8-month period when Saturn is really, really close to Venus, maybe your father will give a call like, yeah, we've got a flooding in the house and bathroom is leaking and this and that. So if your father had ever done that, see if there was a planet transiting upon your fourth house. Because it worked with me. Oh my God. Even with my wife, it worked. That, how there would be a plumbing problem in my mother's home, during certain planetary transit. So it's amazing, man. Like once you look at a house in a very, very simple manner, some of the most basic concept that we run into, my God, just one house can give you, just a reading on one house will be a fascinating thing. One house. I mean, and especially if you use nakshatra on top of that, planet on top of that, I mean, you're just, then you start playing God, and you don't want to do that because then you'll just play God with everybody. But apply these concepts into the fourth house. Now, most will ask, well, which one is the house of education, fifth house or fourth house? Remember, fourth house is the dwelling where you learn. Will you be able to learn in a dwelling is the fourth house. So let's say you're an intelligent person, you know math, physics, science, right? Because your fifth house is very strong. Your fifth house has, influence of Mercury, Sun, Saturn. So you go into physics. But you learned physics online, or you learned physics on your own through books. You were never given an opportunity to learn in a university-like setting. Why? Look at your fourth house. That's the difference in fourth and fifth house. So if the fourth house is somehow damaged, then it'll be hard for a person to attain a formal education in a university-like setting. So that's what the fourth house is. Yep, wow, amazing. That's what she said. That's what she said too. Over and over again. What else? Fourth house. I'm pretty sure this. See, I have a lot more information I know, but I'm just not able to remember. Fourth house. Well, obviously anything within the home will represent the fourth house. Like fourth house can represent a door, furniture, lighting system, lamps, kitchen items will be your fourth house. So I mean, I know more, but I think I've given majority of it. I have given majority of it. I'm just thinking, because I think that's about it. And especially like I said about fourth house being divine knowledge, like learning astrology, learning um, Reiki healing, and then pranic healing or Ayurveda. All these are fourth house things. Fifth house represents what type of knowledge? I believe it's chapter 2 or chapter 3 of BPHS. It's mantras. Fifth house represents mantra. Learning, like, let's say, Gayatri mantra, Guru Stotram, learning about Vishnu Sastranan. That's the fifth house. How well can you learn it? How well can you pronounce a word of the mantra is the fifth house. So that's what you have to remember. Okay. What else? I actually wanted to say something else too, about what are the nakshatra readings that I did with the fourth house. The thing is, it was a very secret. It's a very personal thing, but it was so amazing when this person confirmed, and I'm like, oh my God, Dr. Pai, look, this is so crazy. What did you teach me? You gave me the Indra Dhanush. You gave me the ultimate weapon. Oh no. Because I was email Dr. Pai, and I talked to him like, my God, look at this, what this person said. I mean, how did it come about? And Dr. Arjun Pai just says, like, it's the vessel. You're just a vessel to this knowledge. You learn this knowledge, it's coming through you, and it's helping these other people. So, but there was something very significant about the fourth house. Maybe I'll say, indirectly. I just don't know if I want to say the exact same thing that I said. But anyway, yeah. So I do have the Nakshatra and Navamsha Nakshatra reading. I am actually finally after what? 3 months, I'm going to reopen the Mahadasha reading. Because that thing gets backed up so much that I had the hardest time trying to finish those on time. So this time I'm going to, I might just do an email system with that. So I might open that tomorrow morning, like either tonight or tomorrow morning, Mahadasha. I took the Charadasha reading off. My God, that was like, I was too much of it. I couldn't handle it. But with the Mahadasha, I think I found a way to how to do it in a way where I don't stress myself, and I give you guys, because I know you guys were very mad when I took it off. You guys were actually angry at me. So, but I'm sorry, man. I gotta sleep on time. So, but anyway, this was our fourth house. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything about the fourth house. Senator, any property Rahu in the fourth house, I mean, can show you learn magic at home. You do hacking work at home. Hacking. It's funny you say fourth house. I did a consultation, maybe I think about 4 months ago, of a guy who runs a business in, well, I'm not going to say the state, but they run a business of adult entertainment from home. And that's they learned it through some producer, in LA, and now they're doing it. And hey, respect to all of them, because somehow, some way, it's their dharma, it's their script that they have to play out in doing things. But yeah, the Rahu was in the fourth house. And obviously, I won't say the nakshatra, because then you guys will just go nuts. But it was the most obvious nakshatra that it was placed in. But I've done readings for pretty much anything you can think of. Everyone and anyone, porn stars, adult entertainment, strippers. I've done, pimps have come to me for reading. I'm like, man, I'm not sure when this business is gonna take off for you. I mean, I was literally laughing in the reading, but that's the beauty of it. I get to see all the alignments. I may not see them every day, Once a year, twice a year, I will come across horoscopes of people who are in the most amazing, strange, you know, careers. Like I've had readings for people who are morticians. A girl, a girl, she was 28 years old. She works on a night shift alone. Night shift alone, taking care of cadavers. She like has to drain out the blood and do all of that. I'm like, oh my goodness. And of course, she had the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada in her, and she had the nakshatra of Jeshta, with especially the two planets that are required for you to be a mortician. So, and back, then if I didn't know, about the nakshatra, I wouldn't have really gotten that. But this is why nakshatra studies become very important, because you really get to see this is why when you understand astrology to a certain point, it's always good to practice on unisex. Like you should just tell people, just give me charts. Don't tell me if it's a man or woman, because you might become biased. Like, if I look at a female's horoscope, the last thing I will be thinking of that this person might be a mortician, right? Or I've actually just did a reading for somebody who's a commander in Indian Army, 24, 25-year-old girl. I mean, salute to that, but you get to learn everything. This is why never be biased towards a chart based on the sex, because you will miss out on that. But you should just look at a chart as is. What is it? Is this a person, a musician? Are they doctor? Are they engineer? Are they morticians? Are they dealing with death? Are they dealing in plumbing? I mean, I've had actually 3 years ago, I still remember doing reading of a woman who's a plumber in the United States. She's a plumber, and you get to learn that, wow, oh, this position, that position. Okay, that's now, if I just, came across a chart of women, the last thing I will suggest, oh, go become a plumber. But this is why always practice on charts without looking at if it's a male or female. Then you'll get a much better perspective about who the person is. Okay? So anyway, my fellow folks of planet Earth, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I still got more parting to do. Because I know my wife is downstairs watching, what do you call that, Ghost Files? No, Haunted Files. She loves watching that show, and she got me into it. So what is it called? Some sort of files. It's called either Haunted Files, Ghost Files, Dead Files. Sorry, it's called Dead Files. So yeah, she's watching. I can actually hear it in the background. So yes, I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what else to say here. No, my wife is not a Scorpio. She is not a Scorpio. Although in bed she might be. Who knows? That's for me to know, and for you to never find out. No, not X Files. It's called Dead Files. DEAD. Watch that show, Dead Files. It's about this pair of detective and this psychic, and it's actually pretty creepy. Pretty creepy. Okay. Man, you guys must be getting my response with delay. So, yeah. See ya. I've got to go. Bye-bye.